What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. My name is Hugh Wizzy and you're watching Paper Talk. We are back again bright and early on a Friday morning to go through the latest breaking news for the NS and see exactly what's making the headlines in the back pages of the most fraudulent publications available to man. We buy them so that you don't have to. Love to your mothers. I hope you're all doing well and looking after each other in these turbulent times. We're all we've got, people. I want to say a massive thank you to the latest, newest members of the Fraud Gang Members Club. You are massively appreciated. And this was your fastest finger on the button yesterday. And this is your comment of the day. We've got 4 fraudulent publications to be going through today, including the Daily Telegraph, the Daily Star, the Daily Mirror, the Daily Mail. It's daily like Thompson. It's daily like Paper Talk. Let's get down to it.
This is for the ones who care.
Delighted to announce that today's video is sponsored by OneFootball, the perfect app to keep you up to date with all the live scores from the footballing world. In fact, it's got the latest transfer news, stats from all the leagues around the world, and you can get notifications to keep you updated about the club that you follow. It's very useful for stuff like Fantasy Premier League, or if you're just a massive football obsessive like me. The link to download the app is in the description box below, so do give it a go and let me know what you think. For now though, let's get down to business. And we start today in the back of the Daily Telegraph, who say league faces £800 million blow over TV deal. The Premier League have pulled the plug on the biggest TV sponsorship deal that they've ever signed. A £564 million contract with Chinese conglomerate Suning Holdings, who are also the owners of Inter Milan and are invested in leagues all around the world. They have an outstanding instalment of £160 million, which was due during the coronavirus outbreak but never turned up. There was a dispute as to whether they should be paying the same amount of money, given that the season was now taking a different direction under Project Restart, and they feel that they could perhaps have been in a position to renegotiate. However, the Premier League have pulled the plug on the deal, and as it stands, teams up and down the country are looking into a financial black hole where they are going to have to make up apparently up to £800 million because this TV deal will need replacing sooner rather than later. It was a Premier League shareholders meeting yesterday where they talked over a number of things, but the main focus will be replacing this huge deficit that the league is going to be facing right now. And the Euro Nations League was the main focus of my attention last night. So much football to sink your teeth into. International football I do love. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it, but Wales against Finland was one of the games, and Ryan Giggs gave Gareth Bale the opportunity, I guess, to put himself in the shop window with 45 minutes of football, and then dragged him off at half-time because he was looking extremely out of sorts and unfit. Admittedly, he hasn't played for quite some time. He hasn't been involved in a Real Madrid squad for 8 games now. But Gareth Bale put in the shade as Wales got their first victory in their first match of 2020. Kiefer Moore grabbing a late winner against Finland in their Nations League opener, 1-0 to Wales, the final score. And we move over here to John Cross's piece on the Lionesses, who are set to get the same pay as Lions. That's right, the women's team will be paid the same as the men's for representing the country in the future. The FA confirming that England have joined Australia, New Zealand and Norway on the list of football associations who publicly have committed to paying their men the same as their women players for earning a senior cap. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We've also got Barcelona get tough in fight to keep Messi. We'll talk about that in a second, but it does look like there has been a little bit of progress with that. Racist abuse is up 42% in football. That comes just a day after it was announced that the Black Lives Matter slogan will not be worn on Premier League shirts for the coming season. And Chinese clubs leave Premier League facing £564 million black hole. That is concerning the Chinese broadcast sponsorship and the lack of the payment of that £160 million instalment that we just talked about. On the back of the Daily Star, we have much the same. Gareth Bale and Wales celebrating a 1-0 win over Finland, despite the fact that the Real Madrid star only managed one half. Iceland against England preview here, just a 1 day to go, and you don't know Jack. 3-line security barring entry to Grealish and apparently asking him at the gates of St George's Park, "Who are you? Who?" And also, are you with the under-21s? And last but not least, it's level paying field now. Jeremy Cross writing that the FA have been paying men and women internationals the same amount since the start of 2020, and they will continue to do so. Back of the Daily Mail says China crisis, Premier League clubs to lose millions after TV deal is scrapped. Obviously, the Premier League are taking a major financial hit by terminating that Chinese TV contract, and it is a dramatic move that could end up costing Premier League clubs millions of pounds. It says here the Premier League's immediate loss is £300 million, as Suning Holdings have already paid £265 million to show matches on their digital channel PPTV at the start of the 3-year deal, but ultimately the impact is set to be far greater down the line. Right, we've done the back pages, let's move on and see exactly what's inside. Last night we saw the Euro Nations League kicking off, and Germany against Spain was the one that I decided to watch. Timo Werner giving Germany the lead before Spain clawed their way back into the game and got themselves a 90th minute equaliser through Jose Gaya. It was a fantastic example of the top talents that are either signed up to Premier League teams for the new season or at least thinking about it, with Thiago Alcantara bossing things from the midfield, Timo Werner grabbing himself yet another goal, Rodrigo playing up front for Spain, the new Leeds United signing, Ferran Torres getting a run out. There were plenty of names who are going to be of interest to Premier League fans, and I hope you are watching. And we move over here to this story, which we have been following for quite some time, I know, but there is progress happening every day. Barcelona's Messi battle continues, and as you can see here, the headline says no way out. Barcelona telling Messi's dad that they will not negotiate a sale and could even take the matter to court. We have discussed this at length, but the progress is that Lionel Messi's father, who is his agent, has met with the Barcelona president Josep Bartomeu, who has told them in no uncertain terms that the £624 million release clause will have to be paid if he is to be allowed to leave, and Barcelona will not negotiate an exit for the player. However, there is another story doing the rounds today as well, because even though the hard line from Barcelona is that the player will not be allowed to leave and he may well have to stay through the last year of his contract, the fact of the matter is that Messi's future is in the balance, as Barcelona have been hit by a new scandal. That's right, Lionel Messi is delaying a final decision on his future as the Barcelona board have been thrown into turmoil by a report in El Mundo which suggests that they are subject to allegations of corruption. This is alluding to the fact that, much like Manchester City, who were accused of overpaying sponsors to kind of circumvent financial fair play regulations, Barcelona have been accused of paying a social media company 600 times the standard rate to monitor the club's social media. It says here the Catalan police force have filed a report to the judge investigating Barcelona's hiring of social media consultancy L3 Ventures to monitor its online presence, and concluded possible economic crimes. It's just going from bad to worse for this club, and the controversy is not going to end there. This ruling is going to further muddy the waters between Messi, Bartomeu and the fans, who were expecting the player to make a U-turn after the club's hardline stance, saying he couldn't leave. However, this is now the 4th day that Lionel Messi hasn't turned up to pre-season training, and the feeling is that he hasn't backed down on his claim that he is out of contract and free to join Manchester City. The saga continues. Nice little piece here on Phil Foden, who has of course enjoyed so much success with Manchester City, but is a World Cup winner himself, with the under-17s having a 5-2 trouncing of Spain in 2017, and he has taken it all in his stride, hasn't he? Hoping to be given the opportunity to strut his stuff against Iceland tomorrow. And this article basically is very touching and talks about how he grew up on an estate in Stockport and always dreamt of playing for England. Well, that dream may well become a reality tomorrow. Little piece here on Chelsea's new signing Kai Havertz, set to put pen to paper within days in an £89 million deal, which would be their record signing. Another one. £72 million up front, with £17 million due in potential add-ons if Chelsea were, say, to win the league or the Champions League within the next 5 years. And the 21-year-old is definitely one of the most highly sought after players in world football, with 18 18 goals and 8 assists last season, 20 goals the season before that, electrifying pace and the promise of becoming a truly world-class player. Very exciting times for Chelsea fans. You've signed so many players, I'm losing count, but to add Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva, Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner and now Kai Havertz, you've got to be talking about potentially challenging for the title, otherwise Frank Lampard's head could be on a chopping block. Leicester City have reinvested 22 million of the 45 they received for Ben Chilwell by signing Atalanta's Timothy Castagne. The 24-year-old has put pen to paper on a 5-year deal with the Foxes, who still have money left over to spend and are expected to invest in another defender. West Brom are quite active in the market right now and they're trying to negotiate a loan deal for Chelsea striker Michy Batshuayi, whilst also sealing a deal to sign Brighton keeper David Button for £1 million. Fulham have had an £8 million for Lyon's former Chelsea forward Bertrand Traoré rejected. The French club reportedly holding out for around £22 million for the 24-year-old. And Aston Villa yesterday announced the signing of Nottingham Forest right-back Matty Cash for a £16 million fee. Bournemouth contract rebel Ryan Fraser's moving closer to joining Newcastle on a free transfer after refusing to sign an extension with the Cherries. He was badly missed when they were relegated. Crystal Palace and West Ham were both keen, but it does look like Steve Bruce and Newcastle United have won the race for a player who's rated around 15-16 million pounds after scoring 20 goals from his 127 league starts. Newcastle also interested in Bournemouth's England striker Callum Wilson, but the player looking for around £75,000 a week, and as it stands that is proving to be a stumbling block. Darren Lewis here in the Mirror with a piece about football's inability to deal with its racism problem, with reported incidents up 42% in the year. Napoli have confirmed their interest in trying to sign Arsenal's Greek centre-back Sokratis Papastathopoulos. The 32-year-old is wanted as a replacement for Kalidou Koulibaly, who is expected to leave for Manchester City next week. Please do stay tuned for that one. That's right. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis says they want to sign Arsenal's Greek centre-back Sokratis, which could pave the way for Senegal defender Koulibaly to join Manchester City. The Daily Mirror saying here that England defender Chris Smalling looks set to join Roma on a permanent basis. And staying with Manchester United, Monaco have rejected a sizable bid from United for a 19-year-old defender called Benoit Badiashile, who is set to stay at the club for the coming season. They are also attempting to finalise Borussia Dortmund winger Jadon Sancho's salary and agent fees before making a bid for the 20-year-old England international. And Bournemouth striker Josh King says it would be amazing if United renewed their interest in him. Arsenal apparently considering an approach for West Ham's 27-year-old Brazilian midfielder Felipe Anderson. Chelsea have been told they're going to have to pay at least 30 million to sign Rennes goalkeeper Edouard Mendy, who is 6'4", 28 years old, and they signed for about £2 million last year, so they're having a laugh. Inter Milan are going to need to raise money by offloading Ivan Perisic if they're to bid for 29-year-old Chelsea and French midfielder N'Golo Kante. 22-year-old Grady Diangana is set to have a medical at West Brom today. He is a West Ham player, but was there on loan last season as they got promoted under Slaven Bilic, and one of West Ham's most promising youngsters coming through the ranks. A lot of West Ham fans are not going to be too happy that they are trying to move on and cash in on their brightest young prospects, but it does appear that £20 million is the transfer fee that's been agreed on. And last but not least, I thought this was worth a mention, comical stuff. Sky Sports News actually revealing that Alexis Sanchez admitted that he asked his agent if he could leave Manchester United and return to Arsenal after his first training session. Quite sensational. Almost without question the worst transfer in the history of the Premier League. Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal to Manchester United. That's about it for this time. I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the content. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and drop the video a damn like if you breathe oxygen. But for now, my name's been Hugh Wizzy and this has been a lot of fun. Peace.